were looking at these pictures this week, just stunning images coming out of California where that atmospheric river is hammering the state. Millions of people are still under flood warnings today. 3 people have died so far, and that's because of falling trees. Mudslides caused by the torrential rains have devastated communities across the south, and they have destroyed homes and buried vehicles, as you can see there. They've even ruptured gas lines.
This is my house, actually, and my son lives up the street, and he came down and banging on the door. He says, "You got to get out here quick." So that's what woke us up at 7.
It was like thunder, like, and then the sound of trees, I thought, snapping like twigs. And it was just this house, just completely disintegrating.
Dramatic accounts from people who are living these most unusual times. Steve Futterman is covering the story for us. He's in Las Vegas. I'm going to explain why in just a second, but out of the eye of the storm in Los Angeles, where he's normally based, just in the nick of time, really, in some ways. What's been happening, though? The situation, Steve, unusual weather, and it continues. What are the most striking details that you have for us today?
Well, Heather, they call it an atmospheric river for a reason. These are slow-moving cells in most cases where they just hover over a particular spot and they just drop that water. It's a river coming from the atmosphere. And that's why you're seeing all these mudslides, these flooding scenes on the streets, really extreme examples of flooding. And it's going to continue a bit today. Now, the forecast today calls for less rain. It's not going to be as bad as it was on Sunday or especially yesterday, but the rain is still coming down in some cases. The big worry are these mudslides. You have ground, hillsides, land areas which are completely saturated with water. There's no place for additional water to go. And this is the big concern. Even after the storm leaves Los Angeles, which it will in the next few days, these hillsides are still in a very perilous situation because you can still have mudslides even after the storm goes away. If the water is still in the ground, it can suddenly give way. So it's not going to be completely, we're home free after the storm leaves. But today's going to be another day of rain, sometimes heavy rainfall, not nearly as much as yesterday, but there's still some very dangerous, potentially dangerous situations right now. And you're seeing all the pictures, these dramatic scenes, trees falling down. You see people stranded having to be rescued by air. People describing those scenes, as you heard that the homeowner describe the mudslide that enveloped one home. We've heard these reports from many people who say, hear a strange sound. Someone said it sounded like a plane crashing nearby. These strange sounds as the home is enveloped by mud or sand or whatever.
Steve, in Las Vegas, and it's interesting because we're going to be talking to you later in the week about the Super Bowl. We're into Super Bowl week, heading up to Sunday's big game for Super Bowl 58. But you're there, and the storm is coming your way. So where is it moving, and what impact could this have potentially on the big game on Sunday?
Well, first of all, the stadium is indoors, so it won't have any impact on the actual field and the game when it takes place. But we are expecting some of this storm to hit the Vegas area today. Vegas is a very strange place in many ways, but especially when it comes to heavy rain, because it just cannot go anywhere. It's flat desert land, so flooding can happen very, very quickly here. We do expect rain, sometimes heavy rain in the hours ahead, but the game will go on. Don't worry about the game. There should be no rain on game day.
Okay. Steve, looking forward to talking about you, or not about you, with you about all sorts of things there and here in Las Vegas. Steve Futterman up early for us today. Thank you very much.